Number 2 ranked knockout artist Anthony "Rumble" Johnson will take on Ryan Bader on January 30th for what will most likely be the number 1 contender position in the light heavyweight division. This is Bader's opportunity to really prove that he's at the top of the division and deserving of a title shot. For Rumble, a win would grant him a second chance at either a rematch with Cormier or his first crack at Jon Jones. One attribute to note is Johnson will be holding a 4-inch reach advantage over Bader. It'll be interesting which route he takes to overcome this. Thank you for watching. I'm Tyler and this is Rapid MMA. Bader's footwork has really evolved over the years. He's still a powerful wrestler with knockout power, but his ability to feint and move have really helped him to excel in the division. His fight against Ovince St. Preux is a perfect example of how he avoided big shots, established a solid jab, and used takedowns. It really exposed how sloppy St. Preux's boxing was by using just a little mobility. However, when Bader fought Rashad, he wasn't as successful. The movement posed problems for Rashad, but Bader wasn't quite able to avoid the jab. I think a big part of this is Bader's lack of head movement, and hopefully we'll see that improved in his upcoming fight, especially since Anthony will be holding the reach advantage. What I think Bader will need to do is establish range right away and work the jab, but be very cautious when doing so. The knockout is always most likely in the first round when the fighter is fresh, and if Rumble smells blood or sees an opening right away, he'll pounce. In Bader's fight against Rashad, we saw Bader awkwardly rush in with strikes and get countered by Rashad. If this were Rumble, I'd be willing to bet that encounter would have ended differently. I think Bader will need to take bits and pieces of his fight with Phil Davis and Ovince St. Preux and apply them to Rumble. If Bader is able to bait heavy shots and exploit the weak plane of the hips for a takedown or maybe slip and counter, he can wear on Rumble's confidence and, more importantly, his cardio. This is a 5-round fight, and I'd give Bader the edge in cardio, but it really depends on how much grappling is involved. The longer the fight goes, the slower Bader becomes, and if Bader doesn't have movement to avoid Rumble strikes, then it won't favor him in the end. I'm very interested to see the game plan he comes in with. Distance management is probably the primary thing we'll have to watch out for. Being on the outside of Johnson's reach could be difficult since Bader's at the reach disadvantage. He doesn't want to get caught with something when Rumble steps forward to close distance. It might be safer to stay in close and use head movement to slip and tie up. Dirty boxing and striking on the exit of the clinch will probably work in his favor. It really depends on who the aggressor is though. I have a feeling Rumble may keep the center of the octagon, press forward with his jab, and try to slip Bader's jab and cut off his movement. When Bader is cornered, he'll probably throw strikes to try and circle out, and this is where Rumble will look for counterattacks. If Bader is able to use good footwork, manage his distance, and tie up Rumble against the fence, he should be able to wear on him and grind out a decision victory or maybe a submission if he's able to keep it on the ground. However, Rumble has fought these tough wrestlers before, most recently Daniel Cormier. I wouldn't say that Bader's wrestling is as good as DC's, but we can't know for sure unless they fight. So we can turn to fight metric for his stats. He averages about 3 takedowns per 15 minutes with an accuracy of 42%. And Anthony Johnson defends nearly 80% of takedowns, so I'm guessing Bader may have trouble getting this to the ground, which is why he should focus more on clinch work and dirty boxing when he's in close and preferably up against the fence. Rumble, for the most part, is more about solid footwork and counterattacks. The Blackzilians like to train fighters standing, defend takedowns, and look for knockouts. When he fought Phil Davis, Rumble's primary offense was his jab shovel punch combination because he knew Davis would reach for his hips when Rumble would attack. So, if Bader does look for takedowns, he has to be careful not to eat an uppercut or shovel punch. In this fight, however, I think Rumble will use more combinations involving kicks. Mixing it up against Bader will prove effective, especially if they land clean. Throwing a leg kick can always be dangerous against elite wrestlers like Bader, but Rumble can't limit himself to only throwing punches. Creative combinations will work against Bader because Rumble is faster and more powerful. Last, and I think maybe the most important thing for Rumble to do, is not overcommit to strikes like he did against Cormier. He had him hurt and rushed him, but it just wore him out and he was taken down. I think that may have happened regardless, but he has to keep solid footwork, otherwise Bader will expose that weak plane and take him down. If Rumble hurts Bader Hopefully he stays patient and focuses on shot selection rather than overcommitting. Bader did the same thing against Glover Teixeira and didn't watch for his counterattacks. That same thing could happen to Rumble as well. So hopefully this video provided some insight into their styles. I think this is a tricky one, especially if you were to put money down on this fight. Bader is often overlooked, and I must admit, I didn't think his footwork was at the level it is. Of course, it's not perfect and he doesn't exactly have the best upper body movement, but for what Bader used to be, he has improved a lot. He absolutely has the capabilities to defeat Rumble, but matched up against the reach, explosiveness, and takedown defense of Rumble, it'll be interesting to see if Bader has what it takes to break into the top 3 and challenge for a title. Thanks everyone for watching. Please watch my prediction video linked below. This is Rapid MMA. See you in the next one.